I remember looking forward to aging, when you're a kid. Like, I'm
yeah,
gonna be 21, man.
Yeah.
Now you're like,
The two big things for me was 25 so that my insurance would go down, and 21 so that I could finally have an adult beverage.
Yeah. Finally.
If you're a geek, have a listen. Read up the news. This week's edition. Talking movies, games, TV, and comics. Turn it up, Feel the Geeks podcast. It's the Feel the Geeks podcast. It's the Feel the Geeks podcast. It's the Feel the Geeks pod. Feel the Geeks. You're listening to the Feel the Geeks podcast.
Hello, and welcome to Field of Geeks, episode 214. I'm Josh.
I'm Mitch.
I'm Bill.
What's up, guys? Doing good?
Much. Happy National Mario Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was telling Bill, you weren't here yet, and you can't see it on camera, but I got a poster over there autographed by, what's the dude that
Charles
voices Mario?
Martinet.
I'm terrible. But yeah, he made it out to my kids.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, I finally got it hung up, and I got my Pac-Man over there, so.
Yeah. National Mario Day is not officially licensed by Nintendo. Don't sue us.
Or go to Target and expect like a big discount on
Yeah.
games.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
You think Nintendo would ever give discounts out?
Someone should put that out there, like go up to the cashier and go, it's Mario Day.
I actually have a funny story about that.
Yeah?
When I was a kid, there was a state senator that thought it was ridiculous that they were charging so much for video games. So she sent out certain households like a voucher you could take to like Target or something like that was worth like $60, so you could get a free video game.
Oh, wow.
Meanwhile, the backers are like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is what our tax money
I
is
don't
going
give
to.
you the money for that.
Anyway,
But thanks for the
story.
game.
Wow.
That's cool. Did they win? You remember?
I don't fucking know.
Well, it
I know
didn't
she
change the
ran.
price.
She ran for governor and she lost, but
Okay.
Who was it? Do you remember?
oh god, I can't remember.
Do you know what state?
It was in Iowa.
No way.
Obviously,
Kate Winslet.
This must have been, this would have been during our era. I don't remember
it was.
getting.
It was around like. I want to say the game I got was like Ninja Turtles 3. So that would have been like 88, 89,
Okay.
something like that.
That's
So it was
smart.
around like the Brandstad era.
That's when it was like, Nintendo was out there. I got my system like late 80s, I think. 88
Yeah.
or so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because.
It was before the Super Nintendo came out. I know
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Wow.
Anyway,
Yeah.
fun little story.
That's smart. That's
Yeah.
smart. Well, guess what? When we go to Des Moines Con, we're going to give out vouchers. They're not going to mean anything, but we're going to give them out. So.
Yeah.
Free system. Here you go. Des Moines Con be like security. But yeah, that leads us into Des Moines Comic Con is coming this year for 3 days, May 31st to June 2nd. So we are trying to get a table. We'll see what happens. If we do, maybe we'll have some merch or not. Upon demand, I guess we'll have a link for some merch at least. I think we can do that. It doesn't cost anything unless you like have it, produced, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, we might do prizes if we do produce any merch. But yeah, there'll be guest opportunities. So if you want to stop by, you can jot your name down and or on site, maybe talk to you on mic or whatever. So
we're kind of kicking some ideas around. Like,
Yeah.
maybe have like
we got
do
time.
like a little impromptu podcast while we're there.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I think
interview some guests or whatever.
it'd be pretty cool. Yeah, you go up to the celebrities, like, hey,
Yeah. Hey, Charlie Cox.
Hey, is WizardCon coming? Is this WizardCon or
No, WizardCon's. I think it's no more.
Wizard Gun's done.
They went bankrupt.
did they go belly up?
They went. I think they just expanded so much, and it just got oversaturated. And
Well, I think the guys that run this
Misused funds, I think,
they
too.
do one in Kansas City and one in Minneapolis or
Yep.
something like that. too.
Nerd Street is
Street, that's
the
what it is.
company. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're very cool. This has grown slowly over the years. This is the third year, so they've definitely tested the market, and I think
They got some big names. I mean, Charlie Cox is coming.
Yeah.
Casper Van Dien.
yeah. I mean,
Grace
I think
Van Dien's coming to
yeah,
as well.
that's awesome. What a great, if I ever have a chance to talk to her, I just want to applaud her for like her character. We didn't get much of her character, but what we did get was like, it was everlasting. And it might've been because of, what's the rocker guy who witnessed her death?
Eddie.
Yeah, it might have been from his turmoil over it, because it looked like they're starting to have a relationship, maybe. I mean, very far from, but it was so tragic that it was everlasting. And then you find out she's the daughter of Casper, and it's like, holy shit! Like,
well, and she went through some horrible harassment too.
oh,
Like she even,
I remember a little bit about that. I'm not sure.
I think she like right after the latest season wrapped,
yeah,
she went on her Twitch channel and like said, you know, there was some like harassment or something like that she had endured. I can't remember the whole specifics off the top of my head, but
So refresh my memory on this because I don't remember quite. So who passed away and how? Is this a TV show?
Stranger Things season 4.
Oh, okay.
Did you see that season? at
No,
all?
not
Okay.
yet.
yeah.
She
had,
don't
like,
listen to what I just said.
No, you're fine. It doesn't make any sense to me, so it won't.
She's
add up.
okay.
Yeah.
She had a small but a very impactful role
Yeah.
Gotcha.
on this show. And
I mean, sure, the writing has
I
to do with that, but her performance, I think, too.
yeah, her
was
performance is
very
great.
good.
And I guess
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some behind the scenes stuff going on with her. Or
Oh, that's too bad.
something. Yeah, it was kind of tragic.
It's all eggshells now, you know?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're on Front Street. It's like not the old days of celebs where, and, you know, some of that's good, some of that's bad because it does let you know they're more human, but at the same time, it's like it takes away that,
Well,
you know.
yeah, and I mean, we've seen so much come out about people from back in the day, like Danny Masterson. Like nobody knew anything about that. Until,
That's tough because it's like, you know,
so many people came out.
Right. You should separate the art from the artist. But
which I'm not
it's
saying
hard
this
when it
is
comes
like
down to that.
it was
type of
anything
stuff.
near what Danny
Right,
Masterson
right.
did, what she went through. But
Right. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
it's you can't hide from anything anymore,
right.
really.
Right.
And I think that's kind of a good thing in a way.
Yeah. It has its good and bads, obviously. Also, we will be releasing footage soon here. I should have released it a long time ago of our times at the 2022 con and the 2023. So that'll be coming soon. Also, next weekend, we are planning on recording Field Geeks at the Movies. We haven't done this in years. It might have been the room the last time we did it, which...
Oh gosh.
I've never done one of these with you guys, so I'm excited.
Oh,
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, it's like a riff track.
Yeah, we try. The room was great for that. But I don't know if your opinions, I want someone to come with some research on the movie a little bit.
Commando.
Like
Yes.
a little bit
Should
of
I
background
see it?
stuff.
I have never seen it. Should I see it beforehand or be like brand new first experience with you guys?
We'll do it in the moment. It's all right.
Okay.
We got you.
if
As
you
long
have
as we got some
somebody-
guys on the side, like, hey, factoids here, because otherwise, well, I guess
Yeah.
I could look up factoids, but I kind of know the gist of it. But, you know, I always got it confused with Predator, just because the stills I would see, you know?
Yeah.
Is Commando the one where he goes, "You son of a bitch," and then he slaps?
No, that's Predator,
No,
I
that's
think.
Predator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Commando's like, well, there's a lot of catchphrases.
But if you, I mean, I will say this: if you look at the theatrical poster for Predator next to Commando, and you took out all the titles and shit like that, you'd think they were the same movie.
Well, that's Commando right there. Do you see that?
Yeah, it's kind of
Oh,
kind of
So
similar.
you could see my confusion, I think.
So yeah,
Yeah.
well, there was a period of time though where it's just like every Steven Seagal movie was like a sequel,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
so
like
was
Under Siege
Arnold,
45.
45.
Under Siege 2 was good.
Yeah.
What if they go retitle all his directed videos to like Under Siege this, Under Siege?
All it could do is help his career. 'cause-
I think we need to do an Under Siege 2 though, just so that we
already
could make-
did.
Oh, really?
We did, yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
We could do another
That's-
Steven
that's bad on
Seagal.
me then.
One
That's
suggestion I
fine.
made
Well, I'm
was
sure
the,
you were busy at the time.
Yeah.
One suggestion I made was like all the old Marvel movies, like the David Hasselhoff, Nick Fury.
Oh yeah.
Like
You know,
the
I'll admit,
Captain
the
America
stills of
and stuff
him
like
as
that.
Nick Fury look kind of cool to me. I don't know.
That was, you know,
Well, it was like David Hasselhoff and Kit. It was like during that
Oh.
same time as like Knight Rider, so he looked like Knight Rider
Oh,
with an
yeah.
eye patch.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I don't
would
know,
be
I think
cool.
and a
it'd be
little
fun to
bit
go
shorter
back.
hair.
yeah, yep. He had
I
a good
think
look for
It was
it.
before the cheeseburger.
And
incident.
wasn't Sandra Hess like the bad guy or something like that in it?
Oh,
I think she was.
God,
maybe.
I can't remember. Probably.
those were those those were the 90s where it was like, we don't care, just make it on ABC. And
I feel so bad though because it's just like they tried, and they
for what
couldn't-
they had,
Yeah.
they tried.
Well,
Yeah,
and it wasn't
yeah.
really until Blade came out where they and that's one of those weird things. Like everybody thought Blade was like a standalone movie, but nobody realized, I think, at the time that it was a Marvel comic book movie.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't have
Yeah.
that stamp like it does now.
No, it didn't.
I
No.
mean,
It
sure
had
it
a Marvel
had,
stamp on
sure
it.
it said it, but it didn't have that.
well,
but
and it didn't
Maybe
even,
in the post credit.
They were direct to video a lot before Blade, I think, on the Marvel side.
Yeah.
with it, you had Batman, obviously that was Warner Brothers, and then the Flash TV series that might have
That was a
Well,
great
man,
one.
yeah, it only lasted 2 seasons, I think, maybe just one. I'm not sure, but
They did a lot.
I did
where
buy
it's
them all
like
on DVD. Yeah,
like a made for TV movie, like with the trial and death of
Incredible Hulk. Yes, yeah, you're right.
like
They had a TV show back then. Yep, but it never
still
quite
think-
got to the Dolph Lundgren Punisher. We could do. I think Jonah wants to do that.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
I do want to
Really?
do the
That'd be good for
the
viewing.
Corman Fantastic Four if we could
Yes,
work that up.
I saw that years ago on YouTube, and I'm sure that link's no longer. But I think one of the stars might have said like they want them to release it. I think they should. I don't remember being. It's not the worst thing you see, but they definitely made it just to keep the rights. They,
It was $1 million budget, and I think all of that went to marketing, which was nothing.
You know what's crazy though is that you think like as an individual, $1 million is a lot, right? But
When it comes to movies, it's not.
well, yeah. I mean, when you go to movies, it's just like the first Deadpool had a $50 million budget, which is insane.
because you got permits, you got craft services, probably you got actors' fees. Like, it all adds up, and which is why Joker 2 is like enormous because you got bigger stars now, and it's
I
like
always worry when they do that though. When they throw a lot more money
Yeah.
at the second one, it's just like, is it going to be as good? Because they had to really figure out some things
Yeah.
just to make the first one.
But honestly, the
viable.
cast and director probably don't really give a shit if another one's made or not, because it's like, well, we're gonna do the best we can do, and like Joaquin Phoenix signed on, which I don't think he's ever done a sequel. So that goes to show you, like, maybe the script is good. It might not be received the same. It's a gamble, but
Well, it's
either way, it's one and done probably.
The thing
they
that's
don't care
really
to make
going to
another
throw me
one.
for a loop is that they're tagging it as a musical.
Yeah, well, and I think the first one was definitely inspired by Scorsese, and they say this musical one's actually inspired by another Scorsese that had music in it. So it's kind of like ripping off Scorsese, but it's like they're like fan tributes, kind of. I see they're beautifully made, but yeah, it's not originality. They're probably not really. It's just like let's take Goodfellas. I'm not saying they did that. I think he borrowed from the King of Comedy. It had Robert De Niro in it, which is why De Niro was in the Joker. So he like basically just redid the movie, but put Joker in for De Niro's character.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But with Gaga though, I think I like her music, not all of it, but she has a talent to write good songs. Like,
She's a
Star is Born, or what was that called? Shallow.
The Star is Born is her big movie with.
I thought she did great, but she won the Oscar for that song,
she?
Shallow. I think
Yeah.
In the Shallows or something.
But that was
like
like a remake of a remake.
Well, the movie, yeah. The movie's been redone so many times, but
I will say this: so I'm not a huge fan of her music, but as an actress, she is phenomenal.
I think she's great.
Which
yeah.
which is weird to think about because normally there's not that switch.
Normally you don't
Yeah.
get that.
You don't-
transition.
yeah.
Well, I mean, this is stretching it, but like Tyler Perry, the whole Medea thing, how doing? Or Hallelujah. That's it. Hallelujah. But
Jesus, we
when,
have to
when
bring
you
it back
see
every
him,
time Mitch
when you
is
see him like separate from that shit, like Gone Girl, he was great in that movie.
Oh,
As
yeah.
the
Oh,
Tyler
attorney.
Perry? Yeah.
Yeah, he was great.
when you get them away from like the typecasting,
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
He is and don't forget he was also in Star Trek.
Yeah, and he did good. He did good there. Yeah.
Everything that he's been in is good. It's just that I get it. He made some movies that were funny and he
Yeah.
had a character and he ran with it. But
Yeah.
then he also had this ability, I think, on the other side to actually, because didn't he do like a thriller movie, like kind of a
He did
action?
Alex Cross, which
Yeah.
was Morgan Freeman's character from Kiss the Girls.
Which
It
I
was
don't-
not received too well, but
It wasn't.
I
but
didn't
I
see
think,
it. I didn't see
think
it.
his acting was pretty darn good.
I'm sure
in
it was. Yeah,
Because I don't think I've
aside
ever
from
seen
his-
a bad movie that he's.
It's just his writing sucks. But hey, it got him out of poverty. I mean, he wrote these plays.
He's
and,
done a lot for that community and all that stuff.
and I think he's halted. I don't know if you've heard this recently. He's halted like expansion because I think he got caught using like AI because he's throwing all this content out and it's like all AI based, I guess. So I think that's kind of hurt his chances to maybe get the money to back an expansion. I think that's the deal. But
that whole AI thing's going to be interesting to see how it plays
my
out.
work, I mean, I'm not gonna say where I work, but they're pushing it, and it's some of it. I see. It's like all technology. I see the good in it, but I also see a lot of bad, and I think stupidity is going to go even through the further through the roof than it already is with people. you know.
absolutely.
But yeah, we're all going to be like the Matrix. So
With AI, you have to prompt it, and I know what you're talking about.
oh yeah, I know. It's probably a long ways, but once it
Yeah.
adapts, it's like
You have to prompt it a lot.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it's very easy to tell when it's AI versus your own handwriting.
Right.
So
yeah,
until
if
it's
you're-
not, then that's scary. That's really scary.
it's gonna have to individually learn your little quirks and nuances and stuff, and it's not
Yeah.
even there. And they
Right.
The interesting thing is the AI video has come a long way in just the short few years. Because I mean, at first, do you remember the Will Smith eating spaghetti video? Where it's just like his face is morphing like half the time.
Yeah.
And now it's like way more.
Yeah. Well, the deep fakes are really
The
something
deep fakes
too.
have gotten a lot
yeah.
better,
Yeah.
man.
I saw a clip yesterday of someone who took. It was trippy, but very flawed. But he took Roger Moore, Sean Connery, Pierce Brosnan, and Daniel Craig. Put them all in the Aston Martin. They're all like running from something, and the dialogue's really screwy and robotic, but it's kind of in a way sounds like them, sort of.
yeah,
But it's so trippy. I'll have to share it with you guys. But Roger Moore's driving the car, and it's just freaking trippy as hell. It's like it's kind of like a Bond nightmare in a way. It's really crazy. But to get back on track a little bit here, we got a few people we'd like to remember. Richard Lewis, big time comedian, actor, writer, passed away unfortunately from a heart attack. He had battled Parkinson's the last 2 years.
did he?
Yeah, I don't know if that contributed or not. He did have some health issues, some other surgeries. I think he had to take off last season of Curb because of that. But yeah, of course, he's known for Curb Your Enthusiasm, which has been on forever, it seems.
Yeah.
That
It's
show
finally
just-
ending.
yeah. Oh,
It's
is
finally
it?
ending. Yeah, luckily they were able to. He was a part of the ending of it, so
good.
it's kind of like just the right time.
Yeah.
You know, if that had to be, it's pretty much the right time. Of course, Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh, perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
I quipped about someone shared his passing, and I think I said, "This is terrible news." You know, like that's how he used to say in
Yeah.
as the king. I don't like bad news, and his mole kept moving, didn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah,
yeah. I have a mole.
yeah,
Him and Gary Shandling were like the two big guys,
Yes.
like back
Yeah.
when they were huge.
yeah, and of course he came up in the '80s a lot. He supposedly invented the phrase "from hell." So, like, if you say like, "Oh, I have the neighbor from hell," or the journey from hell.
Yeah.
Apparently, he invented that,
No
and
kidding.
he's actually credited in the Yale Book of Quotations as the originator of that.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, he was known for his dark, neurotic, and self-deprecating humor. And he was 76 years old, so very sad. But yeah, he didn't look the greatest. He looked okay, but he definitely looked like probably older than he was a little bit, from what he was battling.
Yeah.
So, very sad. But
Yeah.
huge shout out. He was great. So,
Yep. Akira Toriyama, the manga artist and character designer, known for Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, the anime and manga of Dr. Slump, character designer on games like Chrono Trigger and Dragon Quest, just recently passed away at age 68. He's kind of like, I kind of compare him a lot with Stan Lee, as far as the impact that he's had on
yeah.
so many different communities and different forms of media and things like that. It's very tragic,
Right. Yeah.
kind of passing of that.
course.
He did, I thought this was interesting when I was kind of looking up some facts about him. One of the reasons he got into like illustrations and stuff like that was he saw 101 Dalmatians
Really?
when it first came out in cinema.
Wow.
And he was like, oh, wow, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of a cool little fact
Yeah.
about him.
Neat origin tale.
Died from acute subdural hematoma,
Ooh.
which I'm not entirely
That's-
sure what that is.
It's an internal bruising, like blood blister.
No, kind of like a blood clot kind of thing, or
Yeah, it can turn into that. Yeah.
yeah. But
Damn.
my God, just the
Life's so
amount of
fragile.
franchises he's been a part of that are like
Yeah.
my favorites. Dragon Ball, of course. Got my
Yeah.
Dragon Ball hoodie on. I've been a huge fan of Toriyama's work, and then to see him put his work into video games like Chrono Trigger. It's one of my all-time favorite games
Yeah.
that he did. He came back and did, when they re-released it on, I believe, for PlayStation, and they included in animated cutscenes. He came back and animated those
Oh, wow.
for the series. He did all the character design for it, which is why you see a lot of similarities between his characters, with
Yeah.
like the big spiky hair and
Sure.
all that stuff. But my God, what a
Legacy.
legacy he's left
Yeah,
behind. And
Sure.
there's actually a statue of Goku outside of Bandai headquarters, which Bandai does a lot of like the production for their games and their toys and stuff
Sure.
like that. And I guess a lot of people use that as like kind of a memorial, like kind of a, put like flowers down and tributes to
That's
him and
cool.
stuff like that. So
Nice.
it's very cool. Another person who recently passed away, it's kind of an obscure one, so I don't know if you guys are big into wrestling or like were
Well,
back in the
yeah.
day.
I know the gist of it.
But Michael Charles Jones, who played the character of Virgil in WWF and Vincent in WCW, recently passed away at age 72.
Wow.
He worked a lot with Ted DiBiase, Million Dollar
yeah.
Man. It's kind of his valet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know what
Kinda
you're talking
guy.
about. Yeah.
So he did a lot of enhancement talent throughout the years, worked with multiple different wrestling organizations, was battling colon cancer. He had multiple strokes and dementia. So lots of things he was dealing with, but that's another very
That's too
kind
bad.
of tragic passing
Yeah.
he had.
Yeah, for sure.
Another one that was pretty recent, Mark Dodson, who was did the voice of Salacious Crumb in Return of the Jedi, the little Weasley guy that was in Jabba's palace.
Yeah.
Did a lot of the voices for the Gremlins
Yes.
in both Gremlins movies. Passed away at age 64.
Jeez.
What do we know what from? or-
I couldn't find a
Okay.
cause of death on that. I don't know if it's
Do you realize how close we are to that? I mean, I don't mean to,
Not until now.
Sorry.
I'm kidding.
Mitch.
I'm
I
kidding.
don't mean to
I'm
sound
kidding.
morbid,
I'm kidding.
but it's just like
That's
I
my
know
left
we
arm
are at
tingling.
like 42, right?
I remember when my dad turned 40, and I'm like, I'm older than him now, and I'm like, wow, he was such an adult to me. Like, I don't feel the same way.
right?
Yeah.
But look at the picture difference of people back from that.
Yeah, I
era
get
versus
you.
us.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's I wouldn't say like a quality of life difference, but maybe there is because it
Maybe.
just seems like, and I don't know if it's just because we're all the same age or whatever, but
Yeah.
it seems like we kind of stopped aging at a certain part.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got more gray, I
Yeah.
found a couple gray hairs on my head,
Yeah.
if I had any hair, but
Well, I have both. I have no hair and some gray on the side, so thank you.
Yeah,
Lord.
sorry.
And I'm getting it here in
Yeah.
my beard more. But yeah,
Gosh.
yeah, it's sticking out more and more.
but it's crazy to think that that's like what 22 years away,
Yeah.
44, 64.
that's nuts.
Yeah. It's
I remember looking forward to aging. When you're a kid, like I'm
yeah,
gonna be
there's-
21, man.
Yeah,
Now
I
you're
think
like,
the two big things for me was 25, so that my insurance would go
Yep,
down, and,
yep.
and 21, so that I could finally have an adult beverage.
yeah. Finally,
Yeah.
honestly,
Okay. I did have. I was 18. My first beer experience was a lot younger because I was hounding,
10.
No. So I was hounding my dad because I just wouldn't shut up a long
I
time
did
ago.
this to my dad too. Yeah, I know where it's
and he was
going.
like, "Fine, I'll give you a little sip."
yeah.
And then he poured it in the glass, and I was like, and he goes, "Nope."
My dad would do that, and I would
Yeah.
always be like, ugh. And then one day I was like, I just drank it, and he's like, no.
Yeah, and so after that, it was a long time, and
Yeah.
then I was
Yeah.
graduated from high school, so I was
Yeah.
in college, but I must have been 20, and my first beer after that was Miller MGD, and God, that was awful.
Was it awful at the time though?
Oh, it's still awful,
Okay,
dude.
okay.
It's horrible.
Okay.
It's Miller heavy.
First thing I ever had was, and it doesn't sound good at all anymore. It never did really, but it was Diet Coke and vodka, or Diet Pop and vodka. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was basically screwdrivers were the beginning. I never been a huge. I like beer, but it has to be like just right for me. But I like hard liquor, and I got most of my partying out of the way before I was 21, so it kind of was like, yeah, I'm 21 now, cool,
You remember the first time you started experimenting with vodka, though? And they were like, it tastes so much better with with like your favorite beverage.
Yeah.
That is such a misnomer. Like I put orange juice in vodka, and I can hardly drink orange juice now.
It kind of ruins it for you.
And it ruined
Yeah,
Mountain Dew
yeah.
for me too. So
Yeah.
thanks, vodka.
Sprite though was funny to see people do that because it goes right through it. Like
Oh, does it? It does.
it doesn't kill it at all. It kind of seems like it amplifies it because it's citrus. I think it's just.
Oh, sure.
Maybe I don't know, but I remember I tried it once. I was like,
Yeah.
cranberry and vodka is my favorite though. That's a pretty good combo. I actually sometimes I don't drink much, but I buy cranberry juice sometimes. My kids end up drinking the whole thing because I never get to it. You know, they're like,
The
"I'll have a
cranberry
little drink.
juice?
Yeah, because
Oh,
I'll
okay.
put it with vodka. That's the only time I drink cranberry juice.
I thought you were saying my kids go through the whole cranberry vodka.
No. Oh my god, I would feel
Pre-mix
terrible.
it, put it in the fridge, be like,
I'm like, damn, they're mellow. It's
gonna be an early night for you kids.
Yeah.
Here you go.
This juice tastes goofy.
No, before the mixing stage, they already take away that agent, so I don't have it. No.
Mom and
That
Dad's
did happen
spicy
one
juice.
time at a family event. Someone made mimosas,
Oh my god.
and the kid just like,
Yeah. I was at a buddy's place one time, and I should have realized because he was a huge alcoholic, but I like went to get a drink out of the fridge, and I think it was like orange juice or something like that. I'm like, I'm not drinking whatever,
Yeah.
you know, and I poured myself a glass, and he had already like pre-mixed it as like a screwdriver. And I had like 2 glasses of it, and I'm like, why do I feel so hot? And he's like, oh, there's like a handle of Hawkeye in there. I'm like, fuck. You got to be kidding me, dude.
Wait, you didn't even notice the handle of Hawkeye in there?
Well, I don't know. It wasn't a handle of it, but you know what I mean. He put
yeah,
like
that was the choice of.
he
Yeah.
probably
vodka.
like
Oh yeah.
I still have some Hawkeye.
he
Oh,
probably
Yeah.
like
I think it gets better with age.
he probably like took out about and it was like one of those, you know, like those gallon jugs.
Yeah.
And he probably took about that much out of it and filled it up with vodka and mixed it up or something like that. And it was like I wasn't paying attention because I'm sitting there, you know, talking to people and just drinking my orange juice. I'm like,
Starting to feel.
Why am I giving away my
the
secrets?
hell?
What's happening?
why do I have the
I'm admitting too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why am I
why do I have the
dancing?
notion to take my clothes off right now? Anyway,
never done
no, that's
that before.
tequila.
Oh, that was in the milk, the cereal.
Oh God.
It was old cereal. It was stale.
I can't even think about drinking that shit.
So what have we
anymore.
learned today? Hawkeye vodka gets better with age.
Yes, sponsored by Hawkeye Vodka. They still make it. I don't,
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
still.
God.
And I'm surprised. I'm surprised that during COVID they didn't change over to like hand sanitizer like most of those.
Oh, I remember that.
Remember everybody
Yeah.
like everybody who was a vodka distributor like went and changed their distilling pots to all like hand sanitizer.
Yeah, you could buy like an
Yeah.
actual. It looked like it was an actual like thing of
Yeah,
vodka,
like
but it was hand
Absolute.
sanitizer.
Absolute made like their own hand sanitizer. When you put it on your hands, it still smelled like Absolute. It was crazy.
Was it maybe just Absolute? I mean, that
Well,
would kill it, wouldn't it?
I mean, some of these vodkas they're so high in
Open
alcohol
wounds?
content. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
Oh.
surprised that what is that? Everclear. Everclear didn't do it.
Oh shit, that stuff won't freeze too. Everclear, yeah. And it's flammable, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
all alcohol is flammable.
Yeah. Well,
that's the stuff that you can put like you can put a little drip in your hands and it catches fire and it doesn't burn you or anything.
Yeah.
It's like Bacardi 151.
make sure you use the right one. Zima was another choice.
Oh yeah.
They re-released that a few years
Zima
back. I
NA.
got some,
Yeah.
and
Zima.
that was the thing. Yeah.
My talking about what we like your first purchase as a legal adult.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't stand back when I drank. Like I couldn't stand the taste of beer.
Yeah.
When I was a kid
Yeah.
or younger.
Yeah.
And I think like Smirnoff Ice was my go-to. And now if I
Yes.
even like
Yes.
if I even get like a whiff of that of somebody like
not-
sitting next to me drinking it, I instantly want to throw up.
Although they have several flavors of it now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I got sick on that a few times with some Chinese food. Yeah. Use your imaginations, or don't.
So glad I don't drink anymore. Anyway.
Superman Legacy, guys. This got retitled. See, like that. There's no segue there.
Yeah.
Superman could drink some vodka, right, and we'll get sick. Anyway, Legacy got a new title. It's now Superman. A lot of people might be like, "They already made a
original.
Superman." Well, we had Superman the movie,
Oh, okay.
but if they want to do Superman 2, that's when we're gonna have a little problem. But
Even more Superman.
maybe Superman.
Super manly.
Hey. They also
Superman goes to East Village.
Superman commits a war crime in the Middle East.
Hey.
We have not just a title change, but of course the symbol was shown, which we did talk about last time. It's basically the Kingdom Come symbol, I think.
Well, the Kingdom Come symbol had the black.
Right. I mean, color
background.
aside, it's the same.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. But I love it. I love the color scheme, and it looks great. Yeah. What do you think?
I can't. I'm sorry. Like, this is just my immaturity, but every time I see a Superman symbol, the only thing I can think of is hope starts with an H, stupid. No, but I think it looks good. It's not like super obviously like an S. It actually kind of looks like a
Yeah. It's kind
alien
of disguised
symbol.
a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Bit, you know.
The
I
other
like
one's
it.
been done
I
to
mean,
death and changed, and so yeah, I welcome it. I think it's a cool new look.
As long as we're not getting like the blue electric Superman.
I don't know if they'll ever do that.
God, I hope not. That was
Will
the
Superman have a
stupidest fucking
collar,
thing.
or will it be more like?
It doesn't really show much. You see a little bit of the cape,
It doesn't
right?
show much of the suit outside of the S.
You can see the blue.
You can see the
Will
blue.
he have the red underwear?
I don't know. That's the big thing. What would you like them to have that or not? I know it's silly, but it kind of is the best look, I think, for him.
There's a fun fact behind that of why he wears the underwear on the outside. See, there was one time where Superman had a arm wrestling contest with Chuck Norris, and the loser would have to wear their underwear on the outside of their pants for the rest of their life.
Chuck Norris is old, man.
I know.
Honestly, like the thing, I love Cavill's Superman.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
I do too.
The only thing I didn't like about that suit is it was way too dark and it wasn't as colorful.
Yeah, it did get brighter.
Well, was
it
that a
seems,
Zack Snyder
but-
thing though, or
Yeah,
his-
yeah. I mean, if it was his choice, like there wouldn't be much bright colors in his films. Like I understand that to a certain point, but it's
he goes
like
for a muted palette?
pretty much like 300. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm such a sucker for the Reeves Superman.
Oh,
I mean,
right.
I guess it's more of like a product of the time, like the, you know,
yeah.
When we
yeah.
grew up,
a lot
Yeah.
of that, like the underwear on the outside was kind of like,
Yeah.
kind of reminded me of like how guys used to dress in like professional wrestling.
Sure.
You know,
Oh,
with
yeah,
like the
yeah.
spandex
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's basically like either embrace it or just don't even talk about it.
Now,
you know, like
if they did like a red belt or something like that, and
that's
then
been a
didn't do
look
the,
they've explored. Yeah,
you know.
because when they took that red away, it was missing something, and then they
it was,
kind of
and
incorporated.
that's what I always
red
thought
in the-
about Cavill's Superman is like
Yeah.
it's missing something.
Yeah,
I
even
can't-
though it's silly, it's just it
Yeah.
was just it just worked. Like Ralph Superman had and his was great. The only complaint I have about his was his symbol was too small, in my opinion.
it was,
It was very small. Yeah, but
and he didn't, you know, throw the symbol and wrap up somebody with it.
saran wrap. Reynolds pulled out any backing. They're like, forget it. But yeah, it looks great. Nicholas Holt is playing Lex. He's got his head all shaved.
He's going to make a great Lex.
I think
I think-
so too.
yeah, that's
I think
gonna
he'll
be a
probably
good
be
choice.
the stoic Lex, like the animated show kind of portrayed
he's
a little
got
bit.
such a range too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
I
very
think
seasoned actor. Like
I think he's going to be more of a subdued Lex than
Oh yeah.
obviously than what Eisenberg was or whatever his name is.
Eisenberg is a great actor. Wasn't the perfect choice for.
They wanted to play into that Social Network type of
Yeah, and
dynamic,
it wasn't
it got
Eisenberg's
weird,
fault
man.
either, though. Like I feel so bad for him because he got so much shit
Yeah,
for
yeah.
something that wasn't even his fault. He did the
Yeah.
best that he could with the stuff that he got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't the right part for him.
Right, yeah. And I wonder if this Lex will probably be American, but makes you wonder if they'll just have him be British, because I know he's an actor and he can do an American accent, but do you think? I mean, I guess Lex Luthor is American, so you can't do that.
Yeah.
Does it really matter though?
I mean-
I don't know if it does. I think it kind of is interesting, but
it almost seems like if
But he
he
can't
had
be
a slight
president.
English accent though, it would be a little bit more evil.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. They might play into it, but he's a good actor. Most Brits can do a great American accent.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, look at, half the cast of the X-Men movies has
Yeah.
an accent, and
I know it's always wild when they get interviewed. You're like, whoa, what?
Except for Halle Berry, she had one and then lost it.
that was so stupid. Anyway.
Yeah, the first X-Men she tried to have
Yeah,
one,
she had
right?
an African
yeah,
accent.
And they're like,
and then all of
do
a sudden
away
it's
with it.
like, girl,
How you doing?
Do you know what happens to a frog?
Oh, that was terrible. Haluir.
Too bad you will die. That's from Mortal Kombat. Anyway,
The bad one.
The
Annihilation,
Annihilation,
right?
yeah.
Oh,
Your
God, that
soul
was
is
terrible.
mine.
How many takes was that? But Holt was on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, Inside of You.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I like his podcast. That is a really good podcast.
I knew it.
Jesus.
You won't be on his show anytime soon. No. No. Nobody. Michael's Lex was Holt's first Lex. His
was
first.
His first foray into
Yes,
seeing
yeah.
him on the
So,
screen or whatever.
He said like his will be inspired a little bit by his. So
And that's good because he was always one of my favorite Lex Luthors.
he played him the
all
longest.
time.
If you look at it, Michael Rosenbaum. He
Oh,
played
yeah.
like
From Smallville.
Yes.
like there's character development there. Like
Yeah.
the other Lexes just had no time for. So yeah, his was more
And his was so I don't want to use
complicated,
this,
or
I don't want to use the word subdued again,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
like he had like kind of like quiet
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
I'm
presence.
I'm really interested though because James Gunn is more of like a fun, upbeat kind of director, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he has a lot of fun in his movies. DC's not like rainbows and
And that might be the
sunshine.
problem.
Yeah, well, and
with
then
Superman
we go.
anyway.
Well, hold on. Now.
Yeah, sorry.
Then we go and no, you're fine. And then we see things like Guardians 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dark ass movie.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, that's really dark. Then there were some scenes where I teared up. I mean,
Especially
the
for
whole
animal
rocket
lovers.
thing,
Yeah. Oh man.
that was a freaking tough scene to watch. And you hear that primordial scream, and you're just like, okay,
Yeah. That was refreshing though for Marvel to have a movie like that again.
Oh, man.
like
you
how
know?
do you have something that dark from James Gunn? It didn't seem right, but it
Yeah,
was
well,
so good.
yeah.
And the bad guy that they had for that, I think, should have been Kang.
They talked about him replacing, but who knows what they're gonna do. He's great though. Either way, he's probably too busy. He's gonna be. Well, no, actually, he won't be in Peacemaker season 2. But I'm sure he's gonna be working with Gunn again.
I would hope
they've
so.
worked twice
Yeah.
together, so. Yeah, he's a great actor. Very
Holy
good.
crap,
Yeah.
is he good.
Yeah. So, I mean, that goes to show you any doubters out there if Gunn can do a Batman. Like, yeah, you even reminded me saying that because, yeah, I mean,
The colors are going to be brighter, though, at least.
yeah, and I kind of like tone differences. Like, I think when they do a crossover, I think it's cool if you take a character who's usually brighter and make them a little darker because it matches the tone. Snyder's was just all one tone, basically. Like, Metropolis, a lot of people have said this should be brighter than it should be different than Gotham, not the
Yeah.
same. And so I think Gunn will capture that greatly in this. We also got Wendell Pierce from The Wire, Suits, Jack Ryan, Hacker is my personal favorite. He's playing Perry White, so
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think he'll do a great job.
I saw that and I was like,
Yeah,
perfect.
and
Good
I liked
casting.
Freeman's. My God, Fishburne's. I liked his performance, but of course that's that ship has sailed. But
Yeah.
it's I think this will be great casting. I don't know if you knew this, but when they did Returns, Hugh Laurie was the first choice.
Really?
And he had to back out. I don't know if it was because of the house schedule, the show he was
Yeah.
doing, or something else. But then they got I forgot his name. They got him, and he was pretty good too. But he would have been a good Perry White, I think, Hugh
Yeah.
Laurie. But yeah, Wendell Pierce, man, I'm excited about this. I know a lot of Snyder people are upset, but and I like them both. But I'm ready for something new. And it sucks. I miss Cavill. I wish they could have used him longer. But,
Yeah, but he's going to be going to Marvel, isn't he?
they're talking about that.
There's
yeah.
been some,
and he's got Warhammer. He's going to do so.
yeah.
I mean, he's and you saw Argyle. I still would like to see that. I'll probably
Great-
wait at this
great
point, but
movie.
yeah, I like him. He's going to be fine.
There's been some like, I don't know if it's anything official yet or if it's just fan casting, but there's
Yeah.
been like roles kind of like thrown out there for him to play. Like Captain Britain, there's been talk about him playing Cyclops.
Yes, which I would actually be pretty okay with.
I would too, because like Cyclops is that very like analytical, like tactical
Yeah, the
personality.
Yeah, and the other thing
Yeah.
is that we haven't had a strong Cyclops live action yet.
Yeah, and I don't think that's
like a
James
leader.
Marsden's fault. Like maybe when he was not as experienced, maybe when they first did X-Men, but he has grown, I think, a lot as an actor, and I don't think it's his fault. I think it's just Wolverine just happened to be captivating, and it stole the show. I mean, Wolverine kind of was our way into the X-Men, so I maybe that's why they wanted to keep him the center of those films.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, man, Cavill would be jacked Cyclops.
Well,
is he
and
too
Cyclops
old though?
always has been jacked.
Yeah,
He's always been like that, a very lean, like
yeah.
You know.
But is he too old? Do you think Cavill is for?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on what.
Yeah.
When we get the X-Men in the MCU, are they going to be like, Angel, Beast, Marvel Girl, and Cyclops?
I don't know. I mean, they have to craft it so carefully because, man, they could just totally screw that. I mean, they're on a what do you call it? They're on on a path that's not like Fantastic Four has so much potential, and I think pressure on them to like get it right. And hopefully they'll leap off that into the X-Men. Like, who knows? Maybe the X-Men could be set in the 60s too and somehow brought to present day.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think we need to see like the X-Men origin thing
probably not.
again.
No.
But like how they bring them in is going to be very important because they'll be like, well, if you're already this established team, where were you during Thanos? Where were you during
New
York, Battle of New York? Where were you during
and that's where Deadpool comes into play. Because
maybe
I think Deadpool's gonna like kind of kill that whole multiverse thing off, and then like
I don't know if he'll kill the multiverse thing off, but he'll open up a pathway for those who haven't been introduced yet into the mythos.
Yeah,
and I think it'll be kind of a reboot to a degree, and I think we're gonna see some of those. Because what I had heard is the guy who played Dilpinder was in a recent interview, and basically said anybody that was in the Fox universe got an invite to Deadpool.
Right. And what's his face for
the Juggernaut?
Yes, he turned it down. I don't know why, but
he said the suit was just too daunting, and it was a bad. Who did that? That third one,
Brett Ratner.
Brett Ratner.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. Like,
So
what the
originally,
stupid. Sorry, fans out there.
So originally he was supposed to have a larger role in the whole thing, and then they reduced it when Brett Ratner came on.
Oh,
and the other thing is that the guy who did
stupid. Yeah.
Well, the guy who ended up doing X-Men First Class, Matthew Vaughn, was going to do 3. And
too bad.
And when he backed out because of the storyline that there was a fake script that some executive had to get Halle Berry on, where they were going to do an opening scene that she was in Africa.
Yeah.
And then that was the whole purpose of that was just to get Halle Berry to sign on, and then they scrapped it. That left a bad taste in his mouth, and he dropped. So.
Hers too, I bet. It's like because she won the Oscar.
Yeah,
she was like, "I'm not coming back unless you, cough up whatever."
So I think in that way it really sold him on it. But I think we're gonna get. He said that there's a lot of people flying to London for this thing. So, I mean, we could get Daredevil if we were going to get Electro. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
How I see it, maybe, how Deadpool could solve this. I don't know if they're going to do this, but maybe there's been so much of a mess made that other worlds have suffered. And so the only thing they can think to do is the surviving people from those worlds, bring them into one, and they'll lose their memories maybe of what happened before. And then boom, we have the X-Men now. They just exist. I don't know.
Because what they say, we're going to get 6 different Deadpools. Or no, it's 3 Wolverines and like 5 different Deadpools. So we'll get Lady Pool, we'll get the dog.
Yeah.
And then we're supposed to get Patch from...
We've seen the dog. We've seen Patch pretty much. Yeah. Of course, that scene could just be some dude that has the same hairstyle as Wolverine. Just a little... nudge, but
I've heard we're gonna get Gambit.
Dude, he's so cool in that animated series. I started rewatching a little bit. God, I think he's my favorite character out of that thing. I just like his look, and his cadence.
Yep.
Channing Tatum, I think, would be kind of fun to play just for a one-off, maybe.
And that's the whole thing. Is like Marvel does fan appreciation stuff. I mean, nobody thought that everybody was pining for what's his face to be Reed Richards,
John Krasinski.
And they gave it to us.
So
it was fine.
It's not to say that they couldn't just do that for Channing Tatum real quick, just to have him on his Gambit, because everybody was like, we want to see what this was like. Why is it in development hell?
Yeah, right.
Well, and there's even like, things that like Ryan Reynolds has done for the movies.
Yeah,
like bringing in Brad Pitt as Vanisher.
Yeah.
You know, that was like a huge thing. He was like, we're going to get Brad Pitt for this role.
Yeah.
But he's invisible the entire time until he dies. And then it's just a quick shot of his face and then
Yeah.
he's gone.
He probably filmed it in his backyard, the green screen.
But
How do you convince Brad Pitt? Okay, it's just like when South Park, George Clooney wanted to be on South Park, so they named him like dog number 3 or something like that.
yeah.
And he's just like, "Ruff," or something like that. Yeah.
Like, we're like, okay, you can be in the movie.
Amy Schumer fans, you're gonna love this next one.
No
This
boy.
one's for you, Bill. Unfrosted, the Pop-Tart story. This is Jerry Seinfeld's first directing job for a film. I don't know if he did television before, but he co-wrote and produced this. He also plays a Kellogg's boss in it. This is basically about the 1963 race between Kellogg's and Post, to create the first breakfast pastry or to market one, which became the Pop-Tart. This stars a lot of people. Amy Schumer's one of them, so I know you're signed on already.
Oh, yeah. Who's she playing? Blueberry?
Comes a hate mail. P.O. Box. No.
No, I'll give you my address if you want to send hate mail my way for Amy Schumer.
She'll actually show up and be like, why, Bill?
Oh, my God.
I bought you a couch. Also starring
Probably a casting couch.
Melissa McCarthy's in this, Jeff Gaffigan, Bill Burr, Christian Slater, Dan Levy.
Whatever you do, don't break out the black light. That shit'll blind you.
Clorox wipes. James Marsden, we just talked about him. He's in
perfect.
this. Yeah. Fred Armisen and Amy Schumer. Hugh Grant's going to be playing Tony the Tiger, which I think might be based on a true person involved with Kellogg's.
Hugh Grant playing Tony the Tiger?
Disgruntled Shakespearean actor. So I think it might have
Okay.
some. Well, you know what? It might not. The real guy, maybe wasn't English because I think Hugh Grant was quoted or interviewed, and he was saying he asked Seinfeld if he should be British or not, and Seinfeld says, "Who cares?" So yeah,
Can't wait for a
the
stuttering
accuracy is keen.
stuttering Tony Tiger or something.
It's,
hello,
you see,
hello.
you see here, Frosted Flakes are,
Wait, they have
Great.
they have a set picture,
Yes.
and he's in the costume. So
for
he's the
God's
dude in the costume. But I think I like Pop-Tarts. Okay,
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I
They're
know,
wonderful.
right? So yeah, I think this will be pretty cool. It's gonna be on Netflix May 3rd, so it's coming. What's your favorite Pop-Tart?
Oh, it's got to be the chocolate with chocolate frosting.
Really?
Blueberry.
Mine's
That
strawberry.
would be a second one.
Strawberry with the little.
You know what
colored
pisses me off
sprinkles.
about? Here's what pisses me off about
You know what really
Brec-
grinds my gears?
breakfast in general, but Pop-Tarts especially, is
They're so delicious.
the older I've gotten, like
Yeah.
the more like dessert-ish it's become.
Yes. Oh
You know,
yeah.
like it
Cookies and
started off
cream.
like,
yeah.
oh, we had like the s'mores ones. Okay, those are good every once in a
Pretty
while.
good. Yeah.
But then like, cookies
Cooking
and
the dough.
cream or like cookie dough or, fucking whatever. It's like, are we really trying
Butter.
to like just, butter. I can't wait for that to be one.
That's made up. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know. But like,
Not by the state fair though.
Jesus Christ. Are we trying to get our kids to be like
Salt.
fat diabetics?
It's just filled with salt.
Anyway.
You know what's funny? I made one the other day sometimes out of laziness, maybe we all do this. You just eat them, out of the package. I toasted one. And my daughter's like, ew. I'm like, you're supposed to toast these. Like,
Yes.
they're so used to just eating them out of the package.
Oh,
That's why the
Seriously?
cheap ones are
Yeah.
called Toastums.
Toastums are good, dude.
They are good.
And you know what
They are.
sucks? We were like, okay, because when we buy Pop-Tarts around here, they're gone instantly. It's
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous. Doesn't matter how many we buy. Like, go to Sam's Club, you're like, we're good. No, we're not good. Like, not even a week. Same with cereal. But we went to Hy-Vee. My daughter's got a dairy allergy that just developed the last few years.
Oh, shoot.
Pop-Tarts have no milk in them.
Really?
Yeah.
Toastums do.
Really?
So we were like, this is going to be a great purchase. Oh, fuck, it's got milk in it. Like,
Yeah.
bastards. So I couldn't save money. But we just don't. Yeah, it's more of a dessert. It's not good for you.
It's not. But I mean, you look at like,
On the go, probably.
Yeah.
But I
But
mean,
if you're going to have it in the morning, that's when you want to have it,
Yeah.
not at night.
that'd be a new thing, though, for adults, right? Like, what'd you make for dessert? Pop-Tarts.
here you go, kids.
Not a bad
Enjoy.
idea,
Here, you
honestly.
put more frosting on them if you want.
My mom used to have applesauce as a dessert at night.
That's not bad. That's still kind of a...
No, it's
No?
not.
Is it a side? I don't know. I don't know.
Toasters rules where it's at.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those are the...
Fuck, those are good.
Yeah.
Those came out after.
The frosting
didn't
that's
they?
legit.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And you bite in too soon and you just burn your mouth.
No.
I guess Pop-Tart's the same way.
Breakfast food wrecks the roof of your mouth anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Except for maybe Cheerios.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you don't have
It
enough
wrecks
milk.
your will to live instead.
Yeah.
Like, why am I eating this bland shit?
That's where you
for
get Honey
breakfast?
Nut. I don't know why. Who can eat Cheerios without?
Yeah, like something on them. Like I have to put sugar. Yeah,
It's
I
like
can't.
cornflakes.
Yeah.
I just no. I need Wheaties. I
was-
eat Wheaties over
You know,
cornflakes.
funny story about this. I was talking to my girlfriend about this one day too.
Yeah.
About like what we used to get for like breakfast cereals and stuff.
Yeah.
And my grandma would always, because my grandma had like a huge sweet tooth, she'd always buy this shit with like marshmallows and, frosting and all this stuff in it. My mom would like, God bless her, to get these healthier, she'd get like Wheaties and Cheerios and stuff like that. But then she'd put like a tablespoon of sugar on that shit for me.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
And I'd be like, okay, cool, yeah.
I did that with Rice Krispies as a kid. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
sugar's good for you, right? It doesn't matter. And I was
Yeah,
like,
sure.
yeah, I put sugar in it. And my grandparents were like, oh my God, no, you can't do that. Like, too much. But yeah, moving on.
You'd be surprised how much shit has sugar in it.
Oh, I
Today
know.
We're talking about breakfast cereals.
There's a whole documentary. I know.
yeah.
This is sponsored by Kellogg's.
Not anymore. It's not.
Hawkeye Kellogg's. I don't know.
The food that won't turn you on.
Yeah. Right. There you go.
If we could,
New little chub flavor coming soon.
if we wanted to get into a real rabbit hole, we could talk about cornflakes. But
Yeah, that was
I
pretty.
think that's a little bit too adult for this.
Join us on
Podcast.
Patreon for the Cornflakes podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be funny if we got paid to do that? Like, I guess we got to do it.
the inside you cornflakes.
Like, huh?
Mitch named it.
We're all gonna have a bowl of cornflakes, and then adult entertainment will be playing, and we'll see if it actually helps.
You know that would be a challenge.
Whoever cracks first has to do the one chip challenge.
The dope bus challenge.
The Crow, guys. The Crow. Eat Crow. Remake to the 94 film. We've gotten our first still images of Bill Skarsgård as Eric Draven. Of course, a lot of people are not liking these images. You guys have seen them. What are your thoughts?
So Crow is one of my favorite all-time movies.
The first one, right? Just
Yes,
the first one.
the
Yeah.
first one. I do like Bill Skarsgård.
Me too.
Like he's got
Range.
He's got a tremendous range.
Do that thing with his eye.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
I think it looks decent. I mean, I kind of get what they're
Yeah.
saying about him looking like kind of a gutter, like the gutter
Yeah.
crow kind of thing. But
Hobo Crow.
at the same time though, like he's got to be 10 times better than Eddie Furlong.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I think might have been the last one they ever did.
The only reason I watched that is because David Boreanaz was in it, and I was a huge fan of Angel at the time. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, I'll wait to see more.
Yeah, of course.
of it.
It's just stills.
You know what I
but
mean?
Yeah.
I am interested to see if they make it like the first, because he's playing Eric Draven in this.
Right. And my whole thing is like, why does it have to be Eric Draven again? Can
Well,
we
and
just
that was the whole
fucking-
thing with the Crow comics is like it was different people.
Was it? Okay. Yeah.
Like, and that's what they did in the movies
Like,
too.
why
Like,
even
it was
touch
always,
the Brandon Lee? Like, but to be fair, they did
but-
it in a TV form too.
But
yeah.
if they adapt it from the comic, 'cause
Right.
the comic is dark as fuck.
Yeah. Which you could do now for sure. Like,
Yeah.
You could go there.
Like if they went there with
Yeah.
that, like I'm all for it.
Right. Yep. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I really just, I'm always gonna any Crow film media that I see,
Yeah.
I'm always gonna compare it to Brandon Lee.
Right. And the 4K edition just came out and it's beautiful looking.
God.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it, man. That's all
yeah.
you need. I'm sorry.
But I don't know. That's my thing. Is like
see it, but I
I'll
don't know
wait
if
to
it'll be
see like a
theater.
trailer and
Yeah.
see him actually like moving and speaking and see like I'm sure he's gonna be a great Crow.
He's in shape. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean,
He's a modern day Crow, What do you think of the pictures?
I watched the movie. I wasn't as involved in it. I watched it once. I thought it was good, but
Yeah.
I'll wait until it comes out to see what
Yeah.
it's like.
Yeah.
well, you got to remember too when it came out, I was a sad goth kid, so it was like,
Yeah.
it was like my manifesto.
Well,
pretty
and
much.
and the new look is inspired by like, modern looks like Post Malone, Lil Peep.
Yeah, I That's the only part of it I'm kind of like,
Jared Leto's Joker, a lot of people have said.
yeah, like he's got all the tattoos and stuff like that. And I'm like,
yeah.
if that's like him, being like Eric Draven, the rock star, he has like all the tattoos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Right. Right.
I don't know.
He's a poetry rocker in this one, though. No, I'm kidding. He's not.
Slam poetry.
I don't know. I don't know what he didn't he have. Def
once
Jam poetry. I think
was
they
a
did.
man. He fell in a pan.
What do you say, Stan? I don't know. Yeah, director Rupert Sanders is doing this. He did Ghost in the Shell. I saw some of that. It was I don't know. I wasn't
that
too
movie was
familiar.
horrible.
Yeah, was it?
I
casting aside,
compared
was
it to the anime, of course, but
because it got big attention because Scarlett was playing which she turned out to be really Asian descent because of. She was in like an Avatar or some shit. I don't know. I don't remember too much of it. I wasn't familiar with the Ghost in the Shell. It's anime. It's based off an anime cartoon. Yeah. So the director, what drew him to the project was, a dark romance, and he said the film is a tribute of sorts to Lee. So. Yeah, we'll see. It's coming out June 7th. So this has been development hell for years. We were talking before. I think Momoa was attached. Jason Momoa was attached at one point, which I think he would have been really interesting. Maybe, except he'd probably play himself. But and then you had I think Bradley Cooper was another. So
yeah,
yeah. I don't know. It finally got made. I think they definitely could have. Got less backlash if they would have just made a new character, because it's just like I think you should honor Lee. I mean, he literally died for the movie,
Yeah.
And so it's like maybe just I think we got the best Eric Draven out of that, like the story. Like, why do we even have to go there again?
Yeah. I agree with that. I
Not to say I'm not going to see it because of that. I am interested.
I'm very interested. I definitely want to go see it.
Yeah, he's not going to phone it in, and I think he would choose something that was worth doing, Yeah, because I think he is in pretty high demand right now. I mean, he's in a lot of things.
He's been in a lot. I forget what else he's been in. Of course, the one that comes to mind for me is him playing Pennywise.
Yeah, of course.
And of
Skarsgård,
course,
man, that whole family talented as hell.
Yeah, they are,
and they're on fire right now. I mean, each one of them I think is pretty successful.
Oh yeah,
big family. Of course, we had 4 Crow films previously with 1 remake version for the TV. 3 and on of the films released straight to video,
which they should have.
Yeah, horrible. Yeah. Originally, there was a 4th film that was going to happen, and I remember seeing this back in the day in college. I think the website was Development Hell, I think it was, and I was just glued to that website every day. When I should have been studying, I was looking at the website, the computer lab or whatever. But yeah, this was going to be called The Crow Lazarus. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this possibility, but it's going to have DMX as a crow and Eminem was going to be in it. But no, their approach was they were going to, so like 2 bombed, 3 was being made. Of course, that eventually got released direct to video, they decided. But this one was going to have a higher budget, kind of get it back on the map. And they wanted a hip hop angle. But what they were playing into was also, not just the soundtrack, which, would have been interesting for the time, but they were going to play into like kind of mimic Tupac in like how he was gunned down by Suge Knight supposedly. So it would have been like a music, like Eric Draven was kind of, well, I don't know if his was music based or not, but
he was a rock star.
But they were gonna do a story about getting assassinated basically in the entertainment realm.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were going to bring Ernie Hudson's character back for this
Ernie Hudson was
out of
great
retirement.
in the movie.
Yeah. But yeah, supposedly DMX backed out when Eminem was signed on, so he didn't want to have him as a co-star.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
With that.
But yeah, the 3rd film's performance basically canceled the project altogether. I don't know if they would have ever gotten over their differences or not, but supposedly Eminem wanted to be a part of it when he found out DMX was going to be in it. But I think it would have been kind of neat. I don't know if it would have been done right for the time, but that angle would have been very interesting because it's like
it would have been
another character, the other side of the music industry that's very dark. Murder, lots of assassinations and so on. But never. Maybe they'll make a comic out of it someday. I don't know. It's so sad about DMX though. I mean, I was a fan of his, and
Yeah.
just for him to go out the way he did, because when I was reading up on this project at the time, like he's on the map, and it seemed like he was clean. I don't know, but everything was going his way, and it's just crazy how down the road it's like it's just such a terrible end to what it could have been. But yeah, Beetlejuice, that is the title for the next Beetlejuice film. I don't know if we've ever talked about this much, but very quickly, Michael Keaton saw a rough cut. He dug it. He said it's fun. He said the visuals are beautiful and the story is emotional, which is different from the first one, because I don't remember crying too much in the first one.
Yeah.
But I get it. I mean, I think they're trying to do what Wednesday did, because they have the same team with that. So I could see that. A sequel should be refreshing, not beat for beat. So if it works, it works. That's great. It's got Catherine O'Hara back, Winona Ryder, Jenna Ortega's in it. She's playing Lydia's daughter, I believe. Monica Bellucci is going to be Beetlejuice's wife.
Wow.
Willem Dafoe. Yeah.
What?
Willem Dafoe. I
Directed
love
by
Willem
Tim
Dafoe.
Burton, and it's coming out September 6th. So
Ooh, this is going to be a first interaction with Burton and Dafoe.
yeah.
That's going to be good.
I forgot I think they may have said who Dafoe was playing. I can't remember offhand, but I'm sure he'll bring it,
Yeah.
He's great. Young Sheldon. So I don't know. Are you guys Big Bang Theory fans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To a point.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have said this, and I think I agree. I think it started out with them, like the creators, that is, laughing with the geek culture, and then I think it turned into laughing at
the culture.
Oh, you think so?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of tuned off later seasons, because I think it just kind of got too repetitive, maybe, and too low hanging fruit for them to go after. But it was the first of its kind to like the whole geek lore, like basically something that a movie called Free Enterprise did well, which I'd love for you guys to see sometime. Steve and I are going to cover it, I think, eventually for Star Trek Mission Report. But basically, it's swingers, but with geeks. Like, it's not your typical geek who lives in their mom's basement. These people have jobs, and they're successcill, but they love geek culture, and they're all a part of it, and they devote their time to it. So it was neat to see these guys. They're scientists, and they have apartment, and they collect all these cool things, and they have all these cool references and so on. So I think that was great. But leading into Young Sheldon, had no care in the world for them to have a spinoff. I just didn't see why. But it's been a success. It's been on 7 years, I believe, and it's finally ending. And it's a great show. I think it's a great spinoff show because, I like when spinoffs have their own look and tone,
Yeah.
and they can it's like a different angle of what you've seen before. And so Jim Parsons and Mayim Bialik are returning as Sheldon and Amy for the finale. It's probably going to go, obviously, going forward into time.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to know if it'll be so jarring if they go from Young Sheldon to a sitcom with laugh,
Well,
I think it's going to be in the same tone. I hope so.
And they've done that before too, I think, with having, Jim Parsons and Mayim Bialik involved.
Yeah.
Well,
And it's more of like a flash forward kind of thing. I don't think it's like, I don't think it necessarily like disrupts the tone of the
Have they done it
show.
before?
So they're all
did.
voiceovers. So they do from time to time.
Oh, so it might
make
not
an
even be
I
physical.
don't know if it would actually be a physical.
I see.
Like
Yeah.
intro, but at the end of the series it could be.
Yeah.
Which would make more sense. But normally, if somebody's coming back from the Big Bang, it's just a voiceover,
I think it would be really neat,
which
though.
they have done in the past. So.
If they bring us to the Big Bang set or wherever Sheldon and Amy went to, because I didn't follow it to the end. I'm meaning to get back to it, but I think it would be neat if the tone didn't change. It was like just a different angle for the Big Bang. You didn't have the audience. You just had like.
Yeah, I don't think you need to have like the laugh track.
Yeah,
and all
if
that
they do
stuff.
a live action of them returning, I don't know if they will or not. But there also is going to be another spinoff involving Sheldon's brother on the show, Georgie, and his wife, Mandy, with their children. Jerry O'Connell played an adult version of Georgie. But yeah, this will be starring Montana Jordan and Emily Osment, which is Haley Joel Osment's sister.
Oh, wow.
She was in Spy Kids 2 through however many they made. They're cute. They still make them, but that's great. I think that'd be cool. I imagine it'll be the same look and feel maybe for young Sheldon, or maybe it'll be maybe they'll go back to a traditional sitcom, with what do they call it, three camera sitcom with a live audience. I don't know,
because normally they don't they'll do like offshoots and stuff like that, but I've never seen it have such
different
a continuity to it.
Oh,
where
Well, and what sucks is, Sheldon always talked about his father dying, but now his father, and it's like, it really sucks because it's like, you got to kill him now?
The weird thing is that it almost feels like if you watch Big Bang, so his father does have an episode before he becomes his father, where he's one of...
Oh, the actor you're talking about.
The actor.
Yeah, he was a bully, wasn't he?
He plays a bully.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so how did he become... And then it's just like, oh, they really liked him, so plug him in.
Yeah.
I've seen... I think what got me on to Young Sheldon, I still haven't seen the show all the way through, but I've seen like funny clips they put together. One's with Georgie's... Or a friend of one of the kids. Her stepdad comes to get her, and I guess he's abusive or something.
Yeah.
Did you've seen it then?
Yeah.
He comes to the door and he's like, you got a problem or something? Yeah. He's like, okay. And then he punched him. And he's like, yeah, the cops will be coming here soon. And
I think tone wise, the two shows are so totally different.
But they're funny too, because there's a barbecue recipe, which Meemaw is like keeps giving the wrong recipe, and it's so
Sheldon remembers it all because he's got a photographic memory.
Yes. But the dad's like doing all these weird things with the meat, and it's just for like just to see if he would do it, and like he's talking to it and stuff.
Well, I love that they got Laurie Metcalf's daughter to play Sheldon's mom.
It's perfect.
Which is,
it's really
awesome.
Cool. Yeah, it's
that
really
was a cool nod.
She's a great actress, I think, and that's just. I mean, I'm sure she had to audition for the part, but that's something you can't just like this is what's going to be. Your daughter's going to play you, but Chuck Lorre is still producing the spinoff series, and the finale of Young Sheldon will be May 16th. So, I need to watch that. I am happy for its success, and it's done something different than Big Bang. I think people needed that change too, and I think didn't they coexist for a little bit?
For a short time,
yeah.
And the thing of it is that Big Bang could have still continued, but what's his face? Jim Parsons wanted to exit. So
because he was going to be typecast,
and
already is kind of. I mean,
And if you watch the end, the end episode, have you ever seen the end?
No, go ahead and tell me though, unless Bill cares.
I haven't seen it either, but you can go ahead.
All right, so you remember how he always wants to win a Nobel Prize?
Yeah.
So he finally wins.
Yeah. I have seen that.
So he finally wins, and as he's giving his acceptance speech, it almost sounds like a personal note to say that he's sorry to the other actors for wanting to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it gets super, super emotional, and it's kind of like, okay, I get it.
Right.
But I will say this for him, though, like, it was hard for me to, separate Jim Parsons from Sheldon Cooper.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then, I forget what movie it was that he was in. It was a more recent one. I can't remember, but it was played a very serious kind of.
He played an attorney in something
role.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, I think so. I can't.
Yeah, I know
remember
you're talking
exactly
about. I can't recall it, but
yeah, he was just phenomenal.
Yeah,
I was like, man, he could.
It is hard now because
act his ass off, but
because if you take Sheldon out of it, he is capable of doing so much more. Like you don't have that distraction. I mean, he obviously already is capable, but
and it's the same thing for me with Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah,
when he was. Granted, I don't ever really talk much about that movie, but
Lost in Space.
Yeah. It was like when he was in that, it was like, oh, it's Joey in space.
Yeah,
basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he was more stoic, but I mean, obviously, that's such a distraction. And later on, I think he got more attention again for playing himself, like a fictional version of himself on some show.
Yeah.
But my first introduction to Jim Parsons was Garden State, Zach Braff's first movie.
Yeah,
and obviously, totally. Different character, but now you've seen him as Sheldon. It's weird to go back, and it's kind of hard to take it. It's
weird not to see him as that tall, lanky dork with the green line.
Right.
Something.
Yeah, for sure. But I totally get it. I mean, Big Bang was on for over 10 years, so I mean, I remember Steph and I were just newly married when it came on, and we had our first apartment, and that was comforting to have a nice sitcom like that on. It was like perfect timing because Iron Man came out like in 2008, and everything just started clicking, like,
Yeah.
you can wear geek stuff again. And because, I wouldn't wear anything before that because I was an adult. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's like,
Oh, grow up.
yeah, everyone can just wear what the fuck they want to wear. So, and like what they want to like. And it's fashionable, I guess. But yeah, game news, if you want to go into any of that.
So Activision, who was recently, they were, remember, they were kind of bought out by Microsoft.
Yeah.
What little while ago. Their QA department is setting up a union, which is kind of like the first time it's been done in the gaming industry, I think, which for them, I think it's good. It's going to protect them a lot, especially when I don't want to go too deep into it, but like, especially when you look at like how many studios are letting people go and just treating their devs like crap.
Yeah.
Like, I think I think it'll be good for them, especially because there's a lot of that, Activision Blizzard got into a lot of trouble with like kind of the culture of their office work. And there was a lot of that talk of them. Well, okay, Microsoft bought them out, so it's going to be even worse of a boys club now.
Right.
And I think with them having a union, it's going to protect them from a lot of crap. That's
get them better
on
pay and like less like work to death, and we're not going to give you what you're worth.
I think it's good too because there's so many games that come out.
Yeah.
That are AAA titles.
Yeah.
That have all this hype and marketing behind them. Then they come out day one and they're shit.
Yeah.
Like nothing's polished. There's glitches everywhere.
Yep.
If their QA department is kind of like self-sufficient, then I think that's going to alleviate a lot of problems for them.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, I think it's a good thing for them.
Sure.
We also have Sony. Fucking Sony.
Madam Web in theaters now.
God. That's another tangent I could go on.
Another Patreon. You want to pay us to go see it? We'll go see it.
Yeah, you would have to pay me to go see it.
There was a guy on YouTube. I follow a few channels like New Rockstars and Everything Always.
Yeah.
This guy, Everything Always, at the end of his videos, he gives a giveaway like a PS5 or and then he offered Madam Web tickets, and it got so bad that he was just like, I'm having a really hard time getting rid of these Madam Web tickets. So if you want a PS5 instead, I understand.
What?
Oh man,
Madam Web and IMAX, please.
It's like, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, right.
That's Sony is cutting 900 jobs in their PlayStation division. This is going to affect U.S., Japan, Europe, Middle East, Africa, Asia Pacific.
Yeah.
They're completely closing their London studio, which I think the London studio is who is going to be working on the new Twisted Metal release that was coming out. So now we're not getting that.
I wonder why they're cutting down.
Their excuse, or, well, I shouldn't say their excuse. I'm taking it as an excuse. Their explanation for this is to remain agile and adaptable to the industry.
Oh.
Which
900 jobs.
I don't know how adaptable you can make people by cutting their fucking jobs, but okay.
Right.
Go for it, Sony.
Well, and I don't know how big of a ratings the Twisted Metal series is getting from Peacock, but it's like if it's getting a season 2, so it's like, isn't that a good time to? I know it takes years to develop a game, so
yeah.
But it's like kind of might help boost it a little bit.
If I remember correctly, I think the original studio that developed it is no longer a thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Or
so it was like a brand new
bought out
takeover
by somebody else or something like that. It was a small studio that got bought out by a bigger studio. Now that studio's dissolved or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't
love that game.
I do too, and it's a great game. And I mean, things like Rocket League, for example, are super popular. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to do in battle royale type games like Call of Duty, all that stuff. Super popular type of game that's like basically printing money.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to throw Twisted Metal into that?
Yeah, but especially when it has a show out there right now.
Yeah, so and the show is
they
phenomenal.
Can help each other.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I still need to finish it because I did sign up for Peacock and I need to see the rest of it because they only give you that first episode for free, and then it's like, oh,
well, and then what I like about the series, and I'm not giving anything away from the finale or by any means by saying this, but what I like about it is at the end of the season 1, they are teasing that they're getting into the Twisted Metal tournament.
Sweet. Yeah, because it's kind of an origin season, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of to get you familiarized with the world
I
and
like
stuff
what
like
they've
that.
set up so far. I mean, I'm only on one episode, but I mean, if you
man.
liked it, I'm
Anthony
sure
Mackie, I mean,
Yeah.
he can do no wrong in my eyes. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the whole premise of it, Sweet Tooth, of course, one of my favorite video game characters of all time.
Yep.
Will Arnett and Samoa Joe do a phenomenal job.
He's pretty much the face of Twisted Metal in the games. Isn't he?
yeah.
Like, yeah, he is the mascot, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I think especially as popular as video game franchises being turned into home media
Yeah.
or like, physical, whatever.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
movies and shows and
Sure.
stuff.
Yeah.
Which we got the trailer for Fallout.
Yes.
That looks phenomenal. Holy crap.
Yeah. Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
I'm not
way they
familiar
did
with the Fallout game, but I know some of the looks from it. Yeah.
The way they did the face for the ghoul,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like the ghouls. Oh my God, that looks amazing.
Now,
Yeah,
here's
it
the-
does look
Power
like-
armor and all that stuff. Like it just looks.
now I need to be educated a little bit. So Walton Goggins is like this executive in these ads, right?
So he's
Yeah.
a Vault Tech executive, but I think he's also playing the ghoul.
Is he the same character? Is he same
Is
dude?
he playing the guy that goes to your door and talks to you about?
That's
About
kind of
buying
what
a
they're
vault?
what they're setting up. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's the beginning. It's like a very like 50s infomercial kind of
Yes.
thing, where it's like secure your place for the future. And
The whole
in one
game's
of our
like that,
vaults.
right? It's
And-
got that 50s era type of deal.
Oh yeah,
but it's modern, right?
It's retro.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Retro futuristic.
like animated, the Batman animated series kind of was.
yeah. So it's like set in the 50s, but if we would have like focused more on technology.
Yeah.
So we
Right.
have like
Sure.
we have like autonomous robots and
Yeah.
all this
Exactly.
stuff. But man, it looks good.
Have you ever played Fallout?
I haven't.
I haven't either, but I have watched some
So-
in-game play
Yeah.
when
It's wild.
they have the air raid sirens going off, and
Oh,
man,
yeah,
that gets
it's
your heart
great.
racing.
Oh man.
That always creeps me out, man. 'Cause I
Why
always
is it?
think-
It's just
'cause
like-
it's like I think it's the
Are we that close to
atomic bomb
Yeah.
siren,
So
right?
yeah, like
Always scares the shit out of me.
I'm going to talk more so about Fallout
Yeah.
4,
yeah.
but it's kind of the same premise around the world.
Right.
Basically, it was like U.S. and China launched their nukes at each other.
Yep.
And, there was, of course, that was the big, nuclear arms race kind of thing
Yep.
around that time. So the vaults were going to be like a thing where, come live underground away
Yep.
from all the radiation, rebuild society, all this stuff. But the rub with that is that Vault Tech set up these vaults and each one was going to be a social experiment.
Oh, sure.
So like one would be run entirely by kids to see if they could,
Yeah.
how they would thrive. One
Right.
would be like, we're going to give you mind altering drugs to make you all more docile or
Yeah.
something. But anyway, looking at the footage of
Huge
the
universe. Yeah.
trailer, like
Yeah.
they've got the Pridwin, the big like airship
yeah.
thing that comes in from the Brotherhood of Steel. They've got like the guy putting on the power armor and the helmet comes down with like the little,
Yeah. It looks great. It looks expensive.
oh man.
But you got it for that
Yeah.
type of. I mean, if you're not doing a movie, I mean,
no,
it's gonna
it's
have to be a big budget.
Amazon Prime, I think
Sweet.
is where it's going to be.
Do we know when that's coming out?
April,
Oh wow,
mid-April.
it's coming, guys.
It
Like
is.
everything's coming. We got Ghostbusters
Yeah, we
coming
got
this
some good
month.
stuff coming this
We
year.
do have some good stuff coming.
I still haven't. I don't think we've talked.
X-Men 97.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It's been
Cool.
90, the first episode is March 20th.
And so they'll be released weekly. Is that
Yeah.
the deal? Okay. Which
Yeah,
is
because
good.
they released the schedule of what
Keep it
the
going.
episodes are, and I think there's 10 or 12 episodes.
Cool.
The last 3 episodes I know are a 3-parter.
I'm excited.
So
Yeah. I hope
I'm
that's-
excited to see how they.
A lot
bring
riding on
everything
it,
in.
you know.
I hope
'cause-
it's not like the entire season's leading up to the actual bomb drop.
Oh, you're talking
No,
about Fallout?
Yeah,
no,
Fallout,
it's
yeah.
like she.
It's after
It's
everything,
like she
right?
comes out of
Yeah.
she's a vault. The main character's a vault dweller.
Yeah.
So her whole thing is, I want to get out into the world and see what's going on out there and see if people are thriving or whatever. And
Right. Yep.
she comes out of the vault and she's just in the middle of this like desert wasteland
Wow.
thing, like as far as the eye can
Welcome
see.
back.
And, yeah. I mean, it looks, I've watched the trailer like 3 times. I get goosebumps
It
every
looks
time.
great, man. Yeah. I'll probably see that before I play the game at this
Yeah.
point. But yeah.
So that's what kind of sucks about Fallout is because like you think, okay, they're on Fallout 4.
Yeah.
So you want to go back and play Fallout 1 and 2. Those two are like top-down strategy
Oh
games.
yeah, like GTA was starting out.
Yeah,
sort of?
kind of.
Yeah,
And then like Fallout 3 is where they got into like the first person shooter
sure.
kind of thing, and
Yeah.
then Fallout New Vegas and
Right.
all that, which I'd love to see that adapted because New Vegas is one of my favorite
Yeah.
Fallout games. But
Would it be a prequel to this then, or they
it's
coexist?
so Fallout, I don't know where this one's going to be set at. Fallout 4 is set in Massachusetts.
Okay.
So New Vegas obviously set on like, Vegas, California around there.
Yep.
So like this has happened everywhere around the world, but like different, the different games are taking place in like different areas of the United States.
Sure. Cool.
So
Very cool.
yeah.
Maybe I don't know if they've laid out their plan, but maybe every season will be a different.
Could be.
Yeah, it could be.
Like Jack Reacher, supposedly every season's based off a book, one of the
Yeah.
books. So it'll just keep, which is great because you have all the source material.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you've got to go to a different location eventually to keep it fresh.
Yeah, maybe that'll be the cliffhanger. They go somewhere else, kind of like Walking Dead did. Sort of,
Oh,
they
yeah.
gradually get further and further out from where they started. That's awesome. Reviews, recommendations, and then we're out of here. So, if any of you want to start, or
I finally saw the Marvels, and it took me 3 whole fucking days to finish it.
Oh,
not 3 watches, like
Not
from start
3,
to finish.
no.
It was that good. No,
No.
Okay,
Like, I'd get like 30 minutes into it and be like, God, this movie sucks.
you made it 30 minutes. That's great.
Yeah, I just could not get into it. I'm going to do a review. Like, normally, I was telling Josh, I normally do a review on my channel of like big movies and stuff I've seen. And I'm always like giving it like, this is 4 stars, this is 5 stars, this is awesome, go see this. This is not going to be one of those reviews.
The end credits the best, and I've told you guys that I think last time. Bill wasn't here, but yeah,
the end credits was the best, but at the same time, it made 0 fucking sense.
yeah, it's little. It's
It was good to see Kelsey Grammer back as Beast.
Yeah, that might have been a reshoot, or not a reshoot, but like an add-on, maybe at the end. Like we need something. It's got nothing to do with the movie, really. It's totally separate.
Yeah, and I think that this movie and Quantumania, like they were supposed to come out in reverse
right?
order.
Yeah, reverse order. Yeah.
But like that's why Quantumania got rushed and why the CGI looked like crap.
Yeah.
They had more time with this movie, but they didn't have any of the marketing and
Right. Yeah, because
Anyway.
they had the strike going on at the same time, and also I think there was they retooled this movie a lot. They cut it down, so it probably would have made more sense in its original form to set up Quantumania, I'm guessing. But yeah, it's so weird also because we've just seen this like depressing take on Nick Fury from Secret Invasion.
yeah.
And there's no joy in him. And then you go to this movie and he's like making jokes. He's like totally different character.
See, and
It's
that's
so
where I was
weird.
confused. Is like
Like what happened?
my impression
You have
was
a screwdriver or something?
maybe it was just because like it came out after Secret Invasion, but my impression was that this took place after Secret Invasion.
Yeah. Which is like, but how do you, but he didn't, like he never seemed like he got back to being Nick Fury we were introduced to. Secret Invasion, it still ended with him being kind of mopey and all that. And then all of a sudden he gets up there. Maybe
This is why
there's cocaine up there. I don't know.
why I'm thinking this
Woke him
takes
up a
place
little bit.
before that
Woo!
because like they
Yeah.
don't mention the scrolls in it or anything like that.
Yeah, it was weird. And, the more and more they explore, it's like Captain Marvel sucked, basically. She didn't even find these people a home for all these years. And they try to make excuses, but it's like, you want us to like these characters, right? Because you're setting us up for like, yeah, they didn't do this. They didn't do these people a service, and it's just so, yeah, the villain's very cartoony. And I don't know if she's married to Tom Hiddleston, but she is his partner right now. So I feel bad for her, because it was just very generic, and the power issues they had in it because they're switching places.
Yeah.
But then sometimes they don't switch places, which makes no sense. It's like
Right.
they didn't stick the landing throughout all of it. And there's a music planet where that's how they
There's
communicate.
a planet where the
Hi,
only way they
Mitch.
communicate
How
is
are
by-
you? That shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a train wreck, and not the kind of train wreck that you like to watch just to see what happens.
Yeah.
But you saw Dune
Yes,
too, didn't you?
I did. I like Dune. I don't understand all of it. I'll be honest. It's a lot The universe is huge, and I never read the books. And there's like 6 of the books. They came out in '65. But yeah, I like the first one. I don't think I love the first one. Like, it was good, you know. The visuals are great. Daniel Villeneuve, I think that's how you say his name. He's the director. He did Blade Runner 2049. Very great artistic director. And I think I get a lot more. I can follow the artistry more in these films rather than like the story itself. But that's just because I'm not in tune to the book, and you can't really turn your brain off in these films, you know. Yeah. But I mean, visually you can. I mean, not visually you can't. I'm saying you can turn your brain off, but I love the visuals and just kind of relax with it. But it's it was very good, very packed. We were at IMAX, very hot. I don't know, you know, everyone watching, our weather's nuts right now. It's like goes from 70 degrees to freaking 30. But anyway, this night they needed the AC on, and I don't think it was ever kicked on much. I think it was like 80 degrees. It was. Ooh. You felt like you were in the desert. Maybe that was the whole deal.
Feel.
But the leather makes you hot too, I think.
Yeah.
Because usually at the end of seeing an IMAX, I'm like, Jesus, freaking exhausted. Of course, you just ate like a big tub of popcorn and soda and stuff.
Did you get the Dune?
No, that's an AMC, and they don't have it on their website yet. And I have gift cards, but they don't take that as payments. So I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with my gift cards. It sucks. I almost want to like just give them away to people who live by an AMC. Like,
we're only down to one AMC theater in Iowa now.
We have 2, I think.
2?
Where they at?
Sioux City and Council Bluffs. I don't know. They're opposites of direction. I know that.
Kind of like opposite sides of the
northern Iowa, opposite sides. Yeah, gotcha. And they're both like over an hour drive to get to. So.
Yeah, it's a little far to go for.
Yeah, if I would have known that Windsong over here, if I would have known Windsong over here was, you know, going away, I would have utilized them. But you know, honestly, just the theaters around here just didn't have the great seats like we have now and all that, like reserved seating. So it kind of just killed the want to go to there, even though I had gift cards. Yeah, but no, it was. The IMAX experience with Dune was great. I'm happy to see it in IMAX. I think it's worth seeing in IMAX. A lot. The creative team is fantastic. They always bring their A game for these films. I've
heard a lot of good. I haven't seen the first one yet. I saw the original that came out in like the 90s or whatever it was.
Yeah, they had the 84 Dune, and that kind of the 84 Dune was the first. So okay. The 84 Dune took it played out the whole part 1 and 2 of now, but they had to condense it and take things out. Okay, and it was 84 time or and then they later on made like I think direct to video or like Sci-Fi Channel sequels to it and so on. But this is like and they filmed each one by itself. So what's great is you had an opportunity. For the second one, you have new cast members. You have Austin Butler, who's a big hit star now, and
I'm gonna say a lot of the actors and actresses in it are big names now. Yeah, Zendaya's in there.
She was in the first one, but not as much.
Yeah,
which is funny because they kind of like sold you on going to it because you know people.
She was a big part of the marketing for the first one, wasn't she?
I think so. Yeah, but she's only really she's in like glimpses and then at the end for just a little bit. But the second one's like. Tons of her in it, and you got Florence Pugh, which she's great as the princess. She's a great actress. Christopher Walken, you know, he plays like a king in it, and Josh Brolin, of course, he's awesome. And Javier Bardem. So you have like an Old Country for Old Men reunion there.
Oh, cool.
Or No Country for Old Men.
Sure.
But the cast, the OG cast and the new cast were great. Dave Bautista's in there as well. This movie's 2 hours 46 minutes. It doesn't feel like it. It goes by pretty smoothly, I think.
Yeah.
Just the visuals, like you feel like this world is real, and I love that about it. You know, it just feels real. It doesn't feel. You have these giant sandworms in it, and you know it feels like legit. It's not shoddy CG effects or anything. Like it's the real deal. And it is funny to see comparisons to the 84 Dune. You know, because he had like literally like a jump rope to latch onto the the jump ropes that used to have those
Oh, yeah.
pieces,
Yep.
the separated plastic pieces. He's got like a black and white one. It's clearly a jump rope.
Yeah.
But it's what they had at the time. And so, soundtrack's really great. The artistry is really what really I think anyone could go and enjoy. The story's big, and it really placates into a lot of like society issues. It's got a mix of like false gods, religion, oil, and wars, and colonial rule, and like climate change, because you got like these other worlds like Timothy Chalamet. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
His world's like lots of water. I think it's more like Earth. The Latreides, I think it's Latreides family. But anyway, they come to Dune, and it's like it's freaking desert, man. It's just it's hot. I mean, like I said, I felt like I was there because it was so fucking hot. But it was a great movie, and I don't know. This is like a tangent, but maybe it's since the Joker incident. That psycho who shot people in the theater.
Oh yeah.
So I was at this is only going to relate to people around here, but when I went to Flicks years ago, I was sitting next to a guy and he had a backpack. He gets up and leaves, and I'm like, oh, this is how I'm going to die. There's a fucking bomb in this thing, because I'm like just kind of a little paranoid a little bit about backpacks and movie theaters. But anyway, there was this dude who ran past us with a backpack before this movie started, and every as we were going through the movie, it kept creeping up. Like, is this going to be a bomb all of a sudden? Like, this guy's really into Dune. He's like, fuck you all. I just kind of paranoid about it. And when we were leaving, I was getting out of my seat and I was grabbing my coat, and I backed up a little bit, and my cousin, I think it was the same guy. Maybe he like had to catch this guy because this guy was trying to come behind me and like pass me. And you know how IMAX, they have like a ledge,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have fallen on chairs, but still, like I didn't even feel any like contact. So I think he maybe saw me backing up, and he was like, "Oh shit," and he lost his balance or something. But like my cousin literally like caught him, and I turned around like, "What the hell's going on? I don't even know what's happening." But yeah, it's like just say excuse me or something,
right.
On your left, I don't know. But that aside, it was a great experience, and I was really happy to see it. If I had the money and time, I'd go see it again for sure. But I haven't bought the first one yet just because I know there's more coming. So it's like I'd rather just get a set when they're all done. So I'm sure the box office was great for it. So I think we'll get a third one for sure. Like I said, there's several books to take on still. But it was great. It was great. And then I saw Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom on HBO Max. I saw it in one sitting, so it kept me awake. So it wasn't terrible. It's got a lot of cheeky humor. I think the first one kind of had that. Don't get too attached to this because it's all ending basically.
How did they end it? I mean, did it seem like it was open for another?
It could go either way.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's I mean, they kind of escalated his relationship with Mara. They have a kid already. You go from
I heard you get like 5 minutes of Amber Heard.
Honestly, I know a lot of people were saying like her time was cut, and Dolph Lundgren was even saying, but I was surprised at how much I saw of them in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, there's an excuse why she's out of it, but he did a lot. If his character wasn't involved, it would have been a different outcome. Dolph Lundgren's character, that is. But it plays it safe. I'll say that. You think, well, there's gonna be some death in this. I mean, with the characters you love and are attached to Aquaman, but they're all false flags. Spoiler, but it definitely was not as big feeling as the first one. And kind of cartoony at times, but I guess you could say the first one was that way as well. But basically there's no villains in the end except for Black Manta. I would say like him and his brother, Ocean Master, pretty much Ocean Master's pretty much a good guy now. So it's like, well, how are you going to make him bad in the future? So he's just not going to do that. That's kind of the problem when you rush to that, changing a character. But it makes sense why they brought him into this one. So it's a good watch. See, if you have HBO Max, check it out. I don't know if I'll own it. Kind of being careful with it's so expensive now, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like I want to make sure I'm getting something I'm going to enjoy for a while, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it ends the DCU. Definitely avoids that. For those who saw The Flash, the end credit where Arthur doesn't remember who he is or some shit. He's drunk and yeah, because The Flash screwed things up. And George Clooney was Batman again, and he's walking out of the bar with Arthur Curry at the end. He kind of has to reintroduce him to Aquaman, and they didn't even touch that. So there's no stakes. It's like whatever. But Mitch, anything else you've seen anything you want to talk about?
Just stuck on Fargo still.
Which season?
Season 3 starting. So
okay, and they're up to season 5 now or so. Okay, yeah.
Just finished season 2. Great
watching
series.
on Hulu.
Yeah,
cool, great series. Yeah.
Patrick
I want to check
Wilson
that out.
was actually in season 2.
That's funny. Yeah,
so
nice.
That's one of those shows that you don't put much into it, and then all of a sudden you realize, wow, this is really dark. They almost give it that movie feel, but they flesh it out.
Oh, it's done
so much better.
Yeah, it's beautifully shot.
So much better.
Is season 3 Chris Rock?
No, that's season 4. That's when they go to Kansas City, I've heard.
Okay.
Season 3, I don't know.
Okay.
But they all interconnect in some way.
Sure. Cool. Very
which
cool.
I'm trying to figure out. So
yeah.
I think season 3 is when they go back even further, because season 2 was in the 70s. And this one goes into the 20s or something like that, I think.
Wow, that's neat.
It may go... I'm not sure if it may go into like the whole family of the trucking and all that. But
Sure.
We'll see. I haven't seen it yet.
Now, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but do you know if the Coen brothers are producing this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you can tell it's Fargo. It always seems like at the last episode, when you hear the actual theme to the movie Fargo, that's when you know it's wrapping up.
Oh, okay.
That's the cool part.
Really?
So, yeah.
I need to check that out. Yeah. Because I think last time we talked, Jonah was here, and season 1's kind of a prequel to the first movie.
Not necessarily.
It's not, okay.
It's its own thing.
It's its own thing.
Yeah, it's in Minnesota and all that stuff, and it's just it's really good.
Cool.
In season 2, you get Fat Damon, and you get
Discount Damon or whatever his name is. What's his name? Shit, Mrs.
I know he's really good though.
Mr. Dunst. He's married to Kristen Dunst. Yeah, he's a good actor. Yeah,
and Kristen Dunst is in it. So
okay, maybe that's how they met.
I know they met years ago.
Okay.
But yeah, no, Patrick Wilson's in it, and it's just amazing. And then Ted Danson's in it too.
Oh, Ted Danson's really.
And he's a really good.
Dude, he's good.
Like he's solid throughout the entire series.
Yeah. He's really good. He's really He should get more roles, I think.
And he plays. He plays a police officer in season 2, but it's like I don't know. The role just seems to fit him.
Yeah,
really well.
No, he's outstanding.
Yeah,
you know, definitely. He can do it all. Yeah, well, that's all we really have this time. Now, plugs real quick. Bill, would you like to start?
I've kind of been on hiatus from my channel for a while.
It still exists.
But, yeah.
It's coming back. You got a review coming from the Marvels. Come on, things are looking good.
Yeah, things are looking up. Let's see how many views that gets.
You might get quite a bit for that.
It's going to be more of a... It is going to be a review, and then I'm going to have some like kind of commentary on the whole like female-led movies don't do well because of misogyny thing. And,
right.
Anyway, but that's probably going to be at some point a project I'm going to do.
Cool.
I'm still working on Alien Isolation. I haven't had much time to sit down and just record because I've been working crazy hours, but it's youtube.com at Billy Creston, Billy Creston Gaming on Facebook. You can find us there. More to come soon, I think.
Excellent. Yeah. I get it, man. Possibly. I totally get it. I mean, thanks to you guys, I'm able to generate content. I can do some on my own, but yeah, it's fun when I can bounce off people and talk about all this fun stuff. When there is fun stuff, sometimes news is like, oh my God, this is all there is. There's really not much out here.
Yeah.
Which our tangents are great for, right? So it works out. But yeah, of course, check us out, Field of Geeks, fieldofgeeks.com, wherever you download, stream podcasts, YouTube, we're there as well, all social media. So we've got tons of content out there, and more's coming very soon. So things are
just did a episode of Super Unknown not too long ago.
Yes, thank you. Yes, we did an episode about time slipping. So it was very interesting. So yeah, check that out. Juan brought the topic to us, and yeah, it was interesting. So
Yeah.
to say the least. But yeah, check
One's
it
really
out.
good for those off the wall discussions.
My God. Yeah, right. You just got to make sure you have enough space on your SD card. He was on Field of Geeks once, and it was like a 2-parter. It was like
Yeah.
4 hours of recording.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because we just went into tangents and stuff,
Sure.
and it was his first time on, so yeah, it was fun. But
I did
yeah.
have a lot of fun with him when we did the back-to-back
That
episodes. at
was
one
that was a
time.
busy day. Yeah, we were here for a while, but yeah, well, hopefully it worked out for Commando next week, and
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be interesting because yeah, it'll be the first video commentary we do. So I'm not going to film the movie because that'll get taken down. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might get my popcorn machine, put it in the background for a set.
I do have a Death Star popcorn maker
Oh, you do?
that I got for Christmas. Maybe I
Nice.
could bring that in. And have
Yeah.
it set up. I don't know.
Bunch of popcorn chewing on the mic.
There you go.
That could work. Sure. Yeah, they don't care. It's fine. It's aesthetic, right? It just
Yeah.
you make you feel like you're there. Yeah.
At the movies.
Yes, exactly. At the movies. So yeah. With that said, we will be back. I'm Josh.
I'm Mitch.
I'm Bill.
Take care.